Welcome to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast, where high achieving entrepreneurs and leaders come to receive deep, insightful conversations and practical guidance to move from hustle to flow without sacrificing their authentic self and the results. I am your host and Chief Energy Officer, Tammy Cho, a former patient care leader turned international best-selling author, speaker, and face and body analysis expert. Get ready to lead your authenticity, lead your energy, and lead your impact. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in and being here with me today. I really do mean that. Today, I want to dive into the topic of imposter syndrome. Now, it doesn't matter what level of business or level of leader you are, this creeps up on all of us at some point in time, right? And my intention today is to really highlight some of the key pieces that, if we choose to look at them, can really begin to address imposter syndrome at the core and change your perspective on how you see it. Imposter syndrome, as we've come to know it, is really this underlying fear, right, of being exposed as a fraud. And even if high achieving business leaders, right, they have the evidence of competence and success through accolades, achievements, team size or profit balance statements, whatever that is, right? There's this underlying persistent belief that at some level we are undeserving of our achievements. And the mind will jump in and tell you it's all good, I'm fine, I'm doing well, right? Yet there's still something underneath that creeps up at the sidelines at those moments in time. And we can play out, it can play out like self-sabotage, right? Avoiding opportunities for growth because there may be an underlying fear of failure or being exposed. And this could be conscious or unconscious, right? This could be playing down their accomplishment and attributing their achievements to, team members, luck, systems, external factors, right? Rather than accepting it as their own win and abilities. And this could affect our ability to make decisions and cause us to struggle to even lead effectively, impacting our team and our team culture, right? And this can impact our performance and well-being, often, reflecting in our stress and our anxiety levels and essentially the self-leadership of our life, right? And so what I notice is that imposter syndrome often builds on top of and fuels the underlying wounding of needing to prove oneself, which often ties directly to the underlying draw to operate as a high achiever, right? Needing to get more done, keep on going, even when they're tired, falling into people pleasing tendencies, saying yes when you mean no, which often then reinforces this operating of the mind, overthinking, over planning, going back and forth with ideas and getting indecisive. And over time, right, the holding on of the imposter feelings really start to build up and play havoc on our ability to be resilient. And over time can cause the exhaustion, burnout, and in many ways, addressing imposter syndrome is also addressing one of the main precursors um, of, experiencing exhaustion and eventually burnout, right? And I've heard many coaches, right, tell me that it's just a belief system. So once you identify it, then you could change it. And this is true at some level, right? However, what I find is that it goes deeper than just mindset or a belief system shift. It goes deeper than fake it until you make it. In fact, if you just work on the mindset and the belief systems without addressing the underlying energetic and emotional aspects of yourself, what happens is that the underlying self sabotage pattern will keep on perpetuating with the same underlying cycle with a different, face, circumstance, or experience, right? it'll still start to affect you energetically, even when it seems that you are doing everything right, so to speak, and that you're feeling, better in the moments that, you're shifting your mindset to, with affirmations and feeling good in that moment. At some level, it's actually affecting your level of worthiness because we're ignoring aspects of ourselves. And what I believe is that the so called imposter syndrome is really a symptom. It's a calling us back home to look deeper within ourselves. It creeps up on all of us because we are human. We have the human tendency to move away from pain and move towards pleasure and what feels good, right? And so, however, what we don't, address, it gets held onto our body and it shows up and creates our body shape, our body characteristics, and can manifest into other challenges, symptoms, and dis-ease in our body. And as a face and body analysis expert, when I do face analysis, we can see places where there are parts of ourselves that we may not be accepting. We can see where there may be patterns that may be affecting our worthiness. I use face analysis as a way to really hold space and to support my clients to really truly see and connect to themselves in a different way. Um, yes, face analysis can highlight your strengths, challenges, internal conflicts at play. But what I'm most passionate about really is about helping clients really reconnect with their authentic self, because when we're operating from that authentic place, we're naturally more happy and fulfilled. We are more feeling more aligned, and we're not ignoring these deeper aspects of ourselves. And I notice with doing a face analysis, it's also bringing these inner and outer pieces into alignment. You see that the left side of our face is our private inner world, so to speak, and the right side of our face represents our public face and what we show to the world, so to speak, how we show up to the world. And so, what we find is that the degree of difference between our two worlds, so to speak, gives us a bit of a deep dive into how much you feel you can be your true authentic self. It highlights our level of authenticity and self awareness within ourselves, how much we actually accept ourselves, and specifically which aspects of ourselves, and where we are on the journey of accepting who we are. It shows us our degree of authentic self leadership. And I have done countless face analysis inner awakening experiences with high achievers. And what I often find is that there are aspects of self that they are either not connected to, neglected, ignored, maybe brushed under the cover. And the characteristics that are highlighted from, each client's face often points directly to what is in the way of what they say they want, whether that's love, whether that's abundance, whether that's happiness and fulfillment within oneself, right? And what I have come to know is that imposter syndrome is at the core, it's when we are not allowing ourselves to be ourselves. There is often a judgment of ourselves, of who we are, not allowed, not supposed to be, who we have not maybe given ourselves permission to be, over how we feel we should show up like or live up to on the outside, right? Ultimately, when we are allowing ourselves to be our true selves, we don't feel like an imposter. Let me say that again. When we allow ourselves to really be ourselves, be our true selves, we no longer feel like an imposter. It sounds so simple, but it's true. This is, honestly why I created the Lead Your Authenticity Face Analysis video series, to really help someone really connect to their capacities as a self leader, as well as the journey between their inner and outer world so they could experience that. And so you could find this at the bottom of the show notes. So feel free to click on the link and you'll receive this in depth complimentary resource to support yourself on this journey. And moving on, the challenge that I see that it is not that high achievers are not confident on other areas of their life, of course, right? However, when we have the external achievements, accolades, and success, and you still don't feel happy or fulfilled, right? It's time to look within. And if you've already done all the mindset and strategy work and you still feeling like you are not really you're still hitting a wall, right? And it feels hard or you feel lonely, it's time to look within. It is that there is a part of ourselves, right? Calling us back inside to ourselves to be acknowledged, loved, and accepted. That when we connect to and free these parts of ourselves, it actually opens us up to expand our energy vibration at the same time, right? However, the ego often will come in, right? I've already done that work already. And we all know it doesn't just, end one day. It's a constant journey about not addressing things separately, not just working on, mindset, and not the emotions. It's not working on the emotions, but not with the body, right? It's working on everything in tandem because you know what? You are body, mind, heart, soul. You're not just one or the other. I worked with a client on, and it was actually on a discovery call, and she had a huge, emotional breakthrough where she not only connected deeply with her purpose for the first time, but she realized that she no longer needed her glasses to see. This is what she told me afterwards. And prior to that, essentially, she wasn't allowing herself to see her purpose very much with these imposter, symptoms or expressions that she was experiencing as it was showing up on her face, right? And she decided to buy a package with me right away. However, within the first, couple of sessions, even though she had this big amazing breakthrough, right, her ego mind jumped in and took over because she could not let go of the old structures of needing to stay positive versus looking at the deeper parts of herself and feeling not good about it. Like she really was trained by a lot of coaches to only focus on one thing, but it's not about focusing on one thing. It's about being able to connect to the pain, but also to the pleasure, right? We live in a world of duality. It's not ignoring one and living one way versus the other. There's a lot of creativity and, expression that births through, the pain and the emotions that are, named as negative, right? And so this is where fear could really play out when we're on our inner ledge of breakthrough, right? It is really about stepping into our authentic self leadership again and again. It is about creating like impact and abundance, without, leaving ourselves behind, even the messy parts, right? Imposter syndrome is calling us back home. It's like, hey, look at me, It's like this part of ourselves that wants to be let back in and accepted so she could be, come out and play with you and to create the results. And let me tell you, you'll be a lot more happy and fulfilled when, you don't need to like hold in this part of ourselves. And most of us don't know we're holding in this part of ourselves, right? We're not, it seems all fine and dandy, yet it's affecting our lives at some level, and it's playing out in very subconscious ways that if we're not coaching with someone, we're not really placing our attention on it, and we're in the box that we're in, we cannot see it, right? Yeah, and so because you know all parts of you truly deserve a place to call home, all of you. I hope this episode really landed for you to really open up some places of self reflection. I do invite you to click on the link and to really download that free resource for yourself to support you. If this really spoke to you, please reach out for a connection call. I love to hold space to see if this is the right step for you. Sending you love. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review so others can find the life-changing content that we're sharing here. We are starting our movement on our way to number 1, and we need your help to get there. If you'd like to connect with other high-achieving entrepreneurs and leaders who are also on their authentic, energetic leadership journey, join our free Facebook community, Energetically Aligned Leaders. Go to pathtotheheart.com/links to join the Facebook group, book your personalized face analysis experience, or to access our resources.